It is I, coming back with another episode of the Guide to Grade A Living on Mild Sauce Radio. Um, we got a special guest today, the homie Dez, aka Dez Money. Once again, my name is Mars, aka Sir Lucius Left Hand. To my left, we have,
Your boy Kingsley, aka Kid Left Right.
And your boy Rob, aka Bobby Digital.
and my man once again to my right, Dez Money.
What week is this? 15, 14 now?
13.
We episode
Something like
13?
that, yeah, something like that. We got a nice little bit. We got a nice little bit going on this year. Des, if you can maybe join us a little bit in, we gonna make that happen properly.
Bam.
But yeah, we could let's pick up where we were just talking about before we had to do a little sound check real quick. So what's this that you were saying about the pop-ups, Kingsley?
So the city today had down at the Thompson Center,
Mm-hmm.
if you were a small business owner or you had a small business, they had a meeting so you could basically know how to have a pop-up space. So, like, if you want to do something on the lakefront like they're doing in the summer of 2019 or any other retail spaces that the city owns, they're helping business owner have pop-up spaces for, like, a couple weeks to as long as 6 months. So, like, even if you're not trying to get into brick and mortar, but this is an opportunity for you to actually break into that space. And more into, like, what Des was talking about, like, what did you say, retail entertainment?
Retailtainment.
Retailtainment. Will you learn that at Complex, God?
Nah, I just be doing like random research, man.
Okay.
You know, just trying to like figure out how to keep growing. You know what I'm saying? And like, just being futuristic. You know.
True.
Being ahead of the curve isn't so bad.
So speaking of retail, could you give us because we gonna introduce you and talk before about who you are before we just shoot the shit.
Okay.
But like give us a little intro on who you are, where you come from, what you repping, so on and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit, man. You know, it's always tough talking about myself. I don't know why, but.
Or like,
I'm working on it. I'm working
I
on it.
feel
I'm working on it,
you.
fellas.
I
I'm
feel
working
you.
on it. But I mean, my name is Dez Money. I consider myself to be a creative. You know what I mean? I make clothes, make T-shirts. You probably seen them around the city. I also take pictures as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would consider
'cause
you
you
more of
got
an
that,
artist, I'd say.
diary
Yeah.
and stuff.
You do installations as well.
Do installations. It's just a lot of shit, man. That's why I just like sometimes when I say I'm a creative, I try to leave it at that. But if you don't really know what a creative is, you know what I'm saying? I think you might not know all of the different facets of that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what I mean? Because
yeah.
creative you could be a filmmaker, you could also be a photographer, you could be a installation artist. You know what I'm saying? You could be a whole bunch of shit.
See,
you know what I mean?
so for me, that's funny that you mentioned that before we get back into who you are. Because for me, I like to consider creatives like the broader spectrum of that. Because like artists are also creatives, but a creative can also not be an artist as far as I'm concerned.
Man, that's dope. That's dope.
Like, who are maybe bloggers to be artists, or somebody that is running some sort of IG brand or something like that, but there's not really no level of actual artistic merit really to it. It's just kind of like a hustle. I feel like if you hustling and doing something creative, you a creative. But like for cats like myself, I consider myself an artist. I just got comfortable with calling myself that shit
Right.
only like last year or so. But at the same time, I'm actually putting real thought, depth, layers, meaning, messages into it. It's a lot of niggas out here with brands, for example, that might just go on 6 different colors and just take pictures. It's like, bam, like you just a creative to me in that regard. Like I'm not gonna push it and call you an artist.
Are
or
you a creator or you're a
designer.
hustler?
That's interesting. I mean, you asking me that?
At
Or you
that
just saying in
point,
general?
at that point, what he was saying, like,
I mean, it's like a creative is like the merger of like artist and hustler, but at the same time, it's got more of that hustle to it than like actual artistry. Once you start actually crossing over into like real concepts and like depth within what you're talking about, then it's like, all right, cool. Like you're taking an artistic approach to whatever your product
Exactly.
or service is. Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. I think when you look at creativity or being a creative versus being an artist, I think 2 words you got to think about, or at least one main word, is commerce. You know what I'm saying? Because as a creative, like you're saying, you coming up with ideas to creatively do something, or to creatively make money. You know what I'm saying? Whereas as an artist, you're more so making things as a reflection of life for the betterment of society.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You
And
know
if
what
you
I'm
happen
saying?
to get paid, then yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the world is so fucked up with capitalism. I ain't even gonna say it's fucked up, but it is
Nah,
fucked
it's
up.
fucked
You know
up.
what I'm saying? It's
It's
like
fucked up.
art and whatever, art and commerce have become, they merge. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to just be an artist. You know what I'm saying? Solely unless you.
Because
you know.
what is a sellout nowadays?
Say that one more time.
What is a sellout nowadays?
Shit,
You know,
bro.
I mean,
yeah,
like-
no, I feel you, but now I'm 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's like as I'm getting older, you know what I mean? I have a family, I have my own family. You know what I'm saying? Like I realize why some people make certain deals or take certain deals. Cause when I was like 18, 19, just starting doing the streetwear shit, it's certain shit where I've been like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm only doing 30 shirts
Right,
or whatever.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But as a businessman, you know what I'm saying? It's like
You thinking differently.
I'm thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all about keeping your integrity
Yep.
and
Right.
having the control of it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you go into a deal and it's all because, you know what I'm saying?
One-sided, you was like,
You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
Yeah.
Then
you
to
don't
me,
wanna
I
take
feel
that.
like
you know what's a good deal when you see one,
Yeah.
especially you don't want to fold your who you are as a person.
Exactly.
And then creative, like you
Exactly.
have to subject yourself. Like, nah, that's not cool.
exactly, man. So I think when you say the word sellout, I think that's gonna come to.
Is it just an ugly word?
It's one of those words that you laugh at as you get older. Like I get it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like it's one of those things. You know
I
what
feel
mean?
you, and like I think that a lot of young people, they don't really understand the concept of selling out the way that when we were maybe teenagers, what we knew
Right.
as selling out is, especially with social media and clout being such a big thing nowadays. It is such a numbers game where everybody is. I mean, like Boonk, for example, he is kind of selling himself out and doing a lot of shit that a man of integrity would not do just to gain followers and get niggas to listen to your music. So that's definitely a thing. But at the same time, there's still a level of selling out that exists. Like you taking a bad deal and you know that you're taking a bad deal. It's like, come on.
It's different types of sellout.
I'm a big Don C fan, but most of his shit that he put out this year was like, it looked uninspired. And at that point, I'm
That's a
like,
hot take.
you selling yourself.
And I feel it. And first of all, and I know you already come from that space. I'm sure you have
He's
a lot
better.
of love for Don.
Yeah,
C.
yeah. I love Don C. He's
big,
better.
that's
I
big
expect
bro,
more from
all
him.
type
Yeah.
of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I also think too, you have to get projects done. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
You can't always handle each project as if it's an art project. Like you got
True,
2 or 3 years. You know what I'm
true,
saying?
true,
Sometimes you
true.
just gotta finish that motherfucker and make sure it's right, acceptable, and you okay with it. You know
Real.
what I'm
That's
saying?
real. That's
and it's
real.
sellable. And I come clean. I'm pretty certain that Don shit's selling.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he at least he's holding up his end of the bargain when he comes to when it comes to, being whatever micro influencer, even though I feel like he's more than that, linking with these corporate companies. You know what
He's
I'm
the
saying?
face of the Foot Locker commercial.
Yeah, bro. Spalding did the
Yeah,
Spalding shit,
that-
did the
that was
Timberland
cool.
shit.
I
Michelin
did-
and Ness.
Them Timberlands kind of let me down.
Yeah,
Those
but, you
Timberlands
know,
was decent. The brown
The
pair.
brown ones was hard, but the other joints, I'm like,
I mean, I get where
the
you
Nicki
coming from,
Minaj, it's like, bam. But I know that was a fat check for that Nicki Minaj shit. Like that's some,
like,
and
y'all
then
as a family.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
exactly,
saying? So it's
exactly,
like-
That
exactly.
goes back, man. You bringing all this shit full circle.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel me? It's
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
I ain't mad at the man. You know, make your
but
bread.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I think it's about we just compromising, and sometimes those people commenting under the niggas Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
Twitters, they're commenting from a ignorant space.
True.
They don't, you know what I'm saying? They looking at the shit just from face value.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just like, your average consumer is not as informed as you might think they are. You know what I'm
True.
saying? That's
Very
why it's like
true.
when you a certain level, you can't even get mad or
Trip
give niggas
off the
certain
shit.
attention. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
That's
like
real.
you don't even get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can't even
yeah.
be mad at you.
No, that's real. Cause like the Jays, like how he did those, very mean, very mean. And the rollout for that shit was definitely super ill as well. Like no, I definitely got mad love for him, but it's like for me, I think it's about legacy, especially when we're talking about something like who you are and your brand. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to do too much shit that kind of fucks you up or sets you back. Where 10 years down the line, your name really ain't as heavy as it could or should.
Let's speak about legacy. We went to Complex Con. Was that your first time going?
This was my second time, so I actually missed the first year.
Okay.
But I made it last year and then this year.
How was this year compared to last year for you?
This year Complex Con is busting. It's definitely all of the internet in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
the
what
internet
everybody
is
always
in that
say,
motherfucker,
yeah.
boy.
How do you
Like
feel about Complex Con being here in Chicago next year?
It's gonna be lit. Shit, it's
Summertime,
at
too.
the crib, bro. We about to
Yeah,
go
it's gonna be
crazy.
nuts. The parties alone gonna be crazy.
Bro, that's just like, and I think it's also a testament to Chicago just growing and becoming like a hot city. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been had hot motherfuckers, but I think now it's like the hotness of our artists is like spreading throughout the city where, at some point, I want to speak into existence. I think Chicago can be like a Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that,
I agree.
once was, or like how niggas go to New York or LA. It's gonna take some time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We got crazy weather, but I think we're very well respected.
Good, strong steps in the right direction. And speaking of that, you were talking about a lot of talent. Just to segue back into your full introduction.
Word.
Where you
I like how y'all
from?
do
How
this.
you repping? You know.
Word. Well, yeah, I'm from the south side of Chicago, born and raised.
From the east side, ain't you?
I'm not super east, but I'm east of Cottage. So I'm on. I grew
No,
up-
you east side, man. You
But it's like, see, I consider east side like Stony
Stony?
Island, Jeffrey,
Oh,
Chappelle.
so I don't
you know
never
what I'm
be
saying?
knowing. Niggas be saying over east. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
this
Southwest, so
South
anybody
City.
like east of state is like, oh,
I see what
you
you're
east
saying.
side,
Yeah. But like where the rink is at, from like
Yeah.
from the movies, that state to where the rink is at, and then after After the rink, that next main street on 87 is Stony. So
Yeah.
Stony going east, like towards Commercial and all that shit. That's
Okay,
east side
okay.
crazy.
That's over back by the lake.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
them like I my auntie stayed over there. I went to Bryn Mawr, which is like a school on 71st and Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? That's like over east. So I know what over east is compared to like where I grew up in, which is more like Chatham. I grew up in Chatham, Burnside, and then like Grove Heights.
Okay.
You know, it's just like
Yeah.
by Chicago State, kind of.
Gotcha, but that's still off the red line there, right? Or closer to it. Well, I know it's at least closer to it. But
Yeah, so Woodlawn is like right next to Cottage, and then the
Okay.
red line is coming off of State.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all still pretty close. You know what I'm
Gotcha,
saying? But it's
gotcha.
different, man. Neighborhoods in Chicago.
I know,
When did
I
you-
know.
when did you-
That's why I'm trying to be like
Yeah,
clear about
bro.
this.
When
shit.
did you start venturing out, like out of your neighborhood? Like when did you first start like, all right, I'm finna like just go somewhere new, and start like meet new people? Because for me, I had to be like 16, and we was like, all right, we finna go to Wicker Park.
Right.
Cause like I guess like me and my man's Greedy must have seen a cool kid like, oh, these niggas shopping up there, so it must be
true.
cool up there. And at this point in time, I'm coming
I'm
coming from Inglewood. We come from the south suburbs at this
Right,
point in
right,
time. And this is when we just had met Promo. We didn't even meet Promo. We met this nigga off the internet. So we
Right.
talking niggas via text message and shit. Young niggas. So that's how we started like venturing out and meeting other motherfuckers. How did
Right.
you actually start venturing out?
See, for me, it's somewhat similar. You know, like I was always out of the hood, cause the nigga played basketball. Like I was into like the performing arts and shit. So I was always like, and then I have African parents, so Africans stay all over Chicago.
Same.
You feel me? Like
Yeah.
they in Bolingbrook, they in Uptown. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So it's like I was seeing different parts, but I ain't really start moving around once I started driving until I got like maybe 20. You know what I'm saying? When I had came back from college, and that's when I had started.
Where'd you go to
peeping.
school at?
For high school, I went to De La Salle.
No, where'd you go to college at? My bad.
Okay, college, Buena Vista University. It's like this small ass school in like northern Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's crazy? That shit was. I don't even know how I
All
made
the way
it.
to Iowa, bro.
Bro, Storm Lake, Iowa. Storm Lake. So that's like by Des Moines.
Sheesh.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Like it was an 8-hour drive, bro. I used to have to drive my little Volkswagen 8
That's a whole
hours, bro, from
day.
Chicago. Yeah, bro.
That's a whole shit.
That's a whole shift at work.
Yeah.
Man, that's a whole shift.
So you
bro.
get back to the city.
So we get back to the city, and even right before I leave, I'm a shoe nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up loving shoes. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not like a sneaker head, but like
Yeah.
getting into fashion. You know what I'm saying?
That
like
was your segue.
yeah, I used to love Mike. My pops used to get us, me and my little sister, like all types of Nikes and shit. So I've always, wanted the newest Air Force Ones and shit like that. So around this time, this when Nice Kicks I think is popping.
Okay.
It's like, oh damn, man, I'm so old. Bro. I'm just thinking about all these numbers.
When you talk about nice kick back then, that's the bootleg nice
Yes,
kick.
yeah.
Yes.
But no, but even before, no, you're right. Yep,
Yeah.
because before Nice Kicks got it was because I had some motherfucker blue and what was that?
They had the freaky colorways.
What was the
like the SpongeBob forces.
SpongeBob doing zeros.
what's the flu game numbers? What's the flu game number? That's
12.
number 12. I had some blue and like teal 12.
Ooh.
They was fire, you know what I'm saying? But them motherfuckers was not legit. They were
Bootleg
not
sneaker
real.
game Eminem actually had a good run.
Yeah,
Niggas got some
man.
mean fits off in high school.
I'm pretty sure China was bussing
Yeah.
during that time. They was going
That's
crazy.
that pre-Alibaba way.
Oh my god, they was going crazy. So it was a shoe that came out called Greedy Genius. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember
Oh
that.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I thought the Greedy Genius was so ill because it was like, oh damn, this the Air Force One silhouette or some. It was similar I was familiar with, but they had freaked it. You know what I'm saying? The colors was like red, black, and green. And I'm like, damn, I need these. But it was only 2 stores in Chicago at the time that carried that, and it was Leaders and somebody else. But this was Leaders when it was on 43rd.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted them motherfuckers bad. And that summer I was working at Brookfield Zoo. Shout out Brookfield Zoo. I was working at their gift shop.
Up in Berwyn.
Yeah. So all my cash, I was just buying invisible ones. I was eBay. I was really getting into eBay, so I was on eBay buying hella fake vapes. You know what I'm saying?
Going
It
crazy.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get ready for college. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to have a whole wardrobe set or whatever. So saw the Greedy Geniuses. I had the bread for us. I'm like, shit, I'm pulling up. Pulled up, and I walked into this place, and it's like all cool looking black dudes. Don't look like they don't know gang shit. Like they about to jump my ass. They just look cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Had on cool sneakers, playing cool music. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, damn, where am I? What kind of world is this?
That's that
You know what I'm
boutique
saying?
way.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm from the hood. I'm like, shit, I'm expecting niggas to shake up and motherfuckers shooting dice or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But everybody was in there super chill. And after that day, I had started doing my research with Leaders and like, you know what I'm saying, like really getting into the culture and figuring out what that was. So during that time, that's when I like started kicking it with Eddie, Nana, and we would go to Wicker Park, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, and all that. But yeah, man, if I had to pay all of my credit, all my homage to like where I'm at in my life right now with all the streetwear shit, definitely would shout out Leaders, Corey Gilkey, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like that's 100, man. I don't even know how to say it any other type
That
of way.
nigga Chicago legend,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Like, Helm, Joe, Terrell,
That's
Vic,
the brother that
like,
has the poppin' restaurant now, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
bang,
yeah,
bang, bang.
Like
Yeah.
Corey, a lot of people came out of Leaders, man.
Yeah.
Everybody you could think of, Joe, you know what I'm saying, Chance,
At a
Vic,
point in time,
me,
I
you know
was
what I'm saying?
interning there,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Fucking,
come on,
we
bro.
interviewed Stretch a couple weeks ago. Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it was just that first cool hub or space where niggas.
it was like Supreme Chicago.
exactly.
It was
You
Supreme
know what I'm
Chicago. Remember at a point in time you had a Leaders hat on? Motherfucker was like, oh shit, you kind of fresh. It didn't
Yeah.
matter what kind of fit you had on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
like
Yep,
actual
yep, yep,
culture
yep,
too,
yep.
not just like how you go to maybe like the Lark or something. It
Right.
still feels very like
Exactly.
Molly.
Yeah.
So I remember when I moved up here, they was in Wicker, and that shit was definitely the wave. Like it reminded me of home. Like I used to hang around I Am Sneaky, all that shit back in the day.
So what made
Yeah.
you actually start your brand? Was like what brand in Chicago was like, damn, like, or would you like, I just want to start? Cause I know you started with your original brand.
Right. That was me, Promo Kid, and Nana. We started our brand
This
called
is nerdy.
Nerdy.
Bang. Ooh, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember this because I was going to school with
Shout out to Promo Kid
promo.
and Nana.
And like he would tell me about you, but I didn't meet you at the time. I'm like, yeah, man, my man's he killing the land with the camera and shit.
Yeah, man, that's what kind of kicked it off, man. And we kept going from there, and through that, that's when I had started fucking with Terrell and Joe, you know, because
Okay.
they had Vita Morte, and Vita Morte was like the strongest, coolest brand, you know, in the city at that time. Not only was they making T-shirts, but they was like throwing some of the
Parties,
parties.
yeah.
Motherfuckers was throwing like cool ass music concerts, and niggas was just cool.
Yeah.
So one day they I think Terrell tweeted that they was looking for an intern. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, we doing our thing, but you know, I definitely know that they doing something right, and I'm trying to get to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
the direction you trying to go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, shit, I'm pulling up, and you know,
The rest been history.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Here we are now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know.
That's love, man. That is definitely love.
Yep. But yeah, man.
So
Lot
like,
of
what's
history.
some of the stuff you have in store? I guess for 2019, because I mean, Chicago Girls Do It Best was like a crazy T-shirt when it dropped, and
Yeah.
jackets from that, then the new shirt.
Yeah, then
Which-
the trip to Ghana was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man.
Do this stuff just happen on the fly, or like you just be planning this out, or?
Man, it's like it's not the fly, cause it's just like, you know, it's like it's all of our wildest dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's like it's a I'm trying to figure out how to describe it, man. It's just it's at this point though. It's getting to the point where it's just like you just telling a story. So
Just
it's like
second
writing a
nature.
book in a
Yeah.
way. At least that's how I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And trying to be aware of.
Speaking of which, you got a book too, don't you?
Yeah, I got a book. I got
Christmas
a book.
season. You want to pub that real quick?
Yeah.
Please pull up that book.
This it's an older book, and it's also for your kids. You know what I'm saying? If you
It's Christmas
Before
You
you
know what
had
I
a
mean?
kid, correct?
Yes, this is before I had a kid. I just love the kids, man. They the ones who gonna take care of us. They the ones that's gonna fix all this shit. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Kids are the future, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I have a book. I have a children's alphabet photo book that I did with my partner, Bree McLean. It's called To Fly, Not to Fly. And it's a real cool book, man. It's like, it's an alphabet photo book. I took all of the pictures, and we used my partner's students who she taught since they were in kindergarten, and we had shot them when they were like in 3rd grade. And the whole object was to like create a learning tool that represented black children. You know what I'm saying? You know, because when you open up the books, you know what I'm saying, like
most of the time they don't look like
they don't
you.
look like
Yeah,
us. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
starting to understand what representation and how all of that shit is important. You know what I'm saying? Even especially like having a kid now too, it's just like damn, like it's very important for us to instill like self-confidence and self-worth. You know what I'm saying? In the children. You know what I'm saying? In different ways.
Because there are
You know
little
what I
black
mean?
girls, even with all the baby dolls out here and all of that, they still actually want perms and their hair to look
You know
like
what I'm
Ariana
saying?
Grande's or Beyonce's,
Right.
who don't really
Yeah.
wear afro or
Like
something.
the way you say that, my homegirl, like she's Nigerian too. She has like a 5-year-old, and she just started pre-K, and she was telling me that her daughter came home, said she didn't want to be black no more, and my homegirl, got a little bit of bread. She live in St. Louis or whatever, and her daughter happened to go to school with all white kids or whatever, and they happened to tease her because she happened to be the only black girl in the school, and I was like, damn,
Wow.
that's some shit you really got to deal with, like.
And it's 2018.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
shit ain't going nowhere.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
this all goes into your book of who you are as a designer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And then even with me, see, and that'd be the tough thing too, is because it's like I don't feel comfortable introducing myself as like an author, but maybe technically that's what I am, because it's just like I just thought it was smart to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe that's where like the creative thing comes in. You know what I'm saying? I think creative people are just like, the people that, they're thinkers. They think like, hey, let's make a shirt that makes all the women in Chicago feel empowered or feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole Chicago girl situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's what that book was about basically. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? I know we got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to like go too deep in it. You know
No,
what I
you
mean?
good. You
You
good.
know,
You got a broad spectrum of things to cover.
Yeah,
what you say.
man.
It's
You know what
it's
I'm
deep.
saying?
What would you say for yourself is your, I guess, proudest achievement or like your favorite piece? Maybe like your favorite item that you put out and release, your favorite project, whatever. Like your favorite thing that you output so far.
So far, for time's sake, I'm gonna just go ahead and say the Ghana project.
Okay.
Yeah, shooting a lookbook in Ghana. I'm happy about how everything turned out. Cause it happened so fast that it don't even seem real. You know what I'm saying? The way it happened. You know what I mean? But it was a proud project. For me, and I think it's probably going to be one of my most important ones. Because it like starts like I go back to like how I even got here, technically in a way. Like my parents are from Ghana. If they never came to America, I never would have been here. You know what I'm saying? So like trying to figure out how to tell my story using clothes as like a narrative tool. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the beginning chapter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's in a way it's like my weird like really like my debut album. At least how I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to like kind of.
How long were you in Ghana for that time frame, and you were shooting?
So I was in Ghana for 2 weeks. I shot a lookbook there.
How long were you shooting for though?
Yeah, with Brian. Yeah, I shot that shit with Brian Allen Lamb. Yeah, so Brian used to stay in the building, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Brian, my dude. That's like, oh man, that's my. You know how motherfuckers be like, that's my brother from another mother type shit. Like he definitely like, we.
That's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that about him all the time.
Real good dude. And we did work with each other in 2016 when he shot a lookbook for me, and that kind of like started our relationship. Got you. But yeah, I got out there first, and then Brian got out there like maybe 2 days after me, and Yeah, bro, shot a fire lookbook, had a real cool pop up shop. You know what I'm saying? And it was just wild to be able to like have an idea, expect it to go a certain type of way, and then actually like follow through, and then like meet people that's like super into your shit or super into the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Were you able to meet other creatives?
Yeah, bro. That was like that's all I shot. You know what I'm saying? Because I had hooked up with a homegirl through. Shout out to Miss Abana.
We
Beanie.
miss you.
Beanie, a
Abana.
motherfucking legend. I don't even know if she know
She be
it. but
working.
She international, man. Like she's
I
a-
think
she
she went
coming
our
up on-
first interviews on the
Yeah,
podcast.
she is.
Yep, I peeped.
I see you coming up on 10,000 followers too. You about to have that motherfucking link in your
Yeah.
your Insta story.
It's
nigga.
getting real lit, man.
Yeah.
But she put me in tune with some people. You know what I'm saying? And I had hooked up with one of the homegirls named Nafia, who's super dope too. She's in Ghana, a creative as well. But she kind of like linked me to like everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool, man. Like the internet, a motherfucker, boy. Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter, all that shit is really bringing the world.
Closer together.
It's like
Yeah.
a big ass. It's like a big ass college or a big ass high school in a way. You know what I'm saying? So
For whatever you're into.
for whatever you into, whatever major, whatever minor, whatever concentration, shit. If you're into drugs, there's some kids on campus doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Every little thing.
High school cafeteria scene, you got
True.
different cliques and shit.
All of that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Damn, that's real. So question, how do you feel about the current state of where like fashion business is, since that is your realm, with how social media and technology is right now? Like, what's your perspective on it? Whether you like it or not, you think it's healthy, what should be going a certain way, what do you miss,
Right. I mean, it's tricky, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, when you in the game, you're in the game. You know what I'm saying? The game going to change. You know what I mean? Like, the game never stays the
Stays the
same.
same.
It always has, like, the fundamental principles. Like, when you look at basketball, put the ball through the hoop. You know what I'm saying? But,
You're adapting with time.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bob Cousy wasn't doing Kimber Walker moves.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right.
you feel me? Like, he wasn't hit. They wasn't. Somebody made, was it Darren Collison? Somebody made somebody fall yesterday.
DeAndre 8. I think,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
That was crazy.
That was
I
nuts.
see the
You know what I'm
highlights.
saying? Like,
Looked like he lost his shoes with it. for
Yeah,
real.
bro.
Damn, Puma.
It's crazy. But even just like watching the game now, 'cause I used to hoop, but it just seemed like the guards' handles are crazier, like quicker. But coming from Chicago, like, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but coming from Chicago, we do build amazing guards. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen guards with like crazy handles, like Jerome Randall, all them type of people. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Whoa, you brought it back.
you feel me, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's like the basketball players are evolving now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
them handles look like Kyrie handle look crazy.
Yeah. Steph Curry.
Yeah, I see that
shit,
shit. I
Yeah.
seen that shit.
The
Yeah, that
NBA,
was
the score
nuts,
gets higher and
yeah.
higher and higher. And like kind of like with your business, it's like product got to get out, put out faster.
Yeah.
People want to see you. People want to get more attached to the brand. It's like,
Yeah, no, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just it's ups and downs in it. You know what I mean? Because when you look at Fat Tiger and how we run in each of the brands, we are pretty much internet stores. Like, we came up during the internet era. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers was like using Big Cartel. When Instagram first came out, before we had a brick and mortar. You know what I'm saying? So I think we've seen the
The
peaks.
elevation.
You know what I'm saying? We've
y'all seen that in the
yeah,
Karma Loop?
Yeah, the Karma Loops, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Karma Loop
it's
Cosmo.
different.
Whoa.
Yeah, bro. It's gotten different, man. You know what I mean? So, it's just like you gotta be able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? And I think with us, we have a very unique business setup where, we have a vertical situation where we just sell our stuff. So like how you saying, we gotta like always have energy around to have people coming in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Which is fun, but it's a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's energy. You know what
I love how you guys like have those like talks for the community or like
yeah, those
in
ones
your
are
classroom or whatever.
Right.
It's like I seen like the last workshop y'all had, like y'all was asking people about questions about like the state of streetwear or whatever. And like I feel like people don't understand like where we at right now. Like the internet has kind of like ruined people to a certain extent. Like, oh, I gotta have this or I need to have this, and it's like it's wealth inequality going on. Like people ain't making as much money they used to make nowadays. it's like you just gotta really focus in on like what you really want. And I don't think like a lot of people understand that, but it seems like y'all try to preach to people like do the right thing at all times, man, even by yourself or by your brand or your business.
Word. Cause I mean, cause we seen the whole shit. Like, you know, we seen we seen how the platforms of Twitter and the followings on Instagram have become a currency. You know what I'm saying? It was a certain point when Instagram, when you were just on there for fun,
Yeah,
when you were just, you know what I'm saying, or
People were
just,
really just taking pictures.
Yes.
still.
It's
You
not
know what I'm saying?
calculated photos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or content and whatever.
You know what I
But
mean?
then somebody figured out how to monetize that shit and
You
become
know?
their own brand. And
You know what I'm
selfies
saying?
became a thing.
You feel me? And then the corporate companies
Mhm.
came on like, oh damn, that's what y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I'm just trying to, you know, personally, I'm trying to get my money up. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know, just continue to contribute to the culture. I think that's what it's about. I think if you come at it from that angle where you're trying to contribute, you know what I'm saying, and doing things with good intent,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like
Do right.
you feel me? I feel like if you're doing right, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and going back to the whole Don C thing, like I think Don C is doing stuff with good intent.
Yes.
You
yes,
know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Fully
You know
agree,
what I mean?
Fully agree there.
You know what I mean? Definitely.
Sorry, Don, if you come across this, trust me, I fuck with you the long way,
No,
brother.
no. But you know, I'm just only saying that because I feel like, I'm just noticing how if you got 10 projects doing it, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
No,
like,
that's
I
real.
know
That's
after you
real.
said that, I just thought I'm like, damn, you're totally fucking right.
No,
Like,
you definitely wrote some good points. As an artist, though, I still feel like anything you put out there is still not above critique. You know, like not everybody is gonna like your shit,
that's
and
real, that's
if
real,
you
that's
actually
real,
care
that's real.
about, because I mean, you could
That's
be
real, though.
somebody that like is just doing something and not giving a fuck, but usually you give a fuck to a certain degree if you're trying to make some money up off that shit.
Right.
So you know, like I ain't Mr. Know It All, but I know a little something. Most people respect my opinion, so it's
Right.
like, you know, if I met Don, I wouldn't like come to him on no
Yeah.
disrespectful shit.
Yeah,
But at the
no,
same
word,
time, it's
word.
like I would ask that man, like, you know, like what's your vision for the future, my G? You know?
What
That's dope, though. I
at
respect
Complex Con, like you've seen a lot of brands and you've seen a lot of their visions. Like, did you when you left out of Complex Con, did you left out like the culture is going to be in good hands in the future? You like, damn, like it's just really up for grabs at this point. Like,
Because there's a lot of money.
like I know you've seen a lot of shit there. You're like, damn, this kind of overwhelming. Like, I mean, like you had your own thing set up, but then you went inside the actual thing, and this was like,
Yeah, it was. I mean, I kind of knew how to come into Complex Con now since it was my second time, even though it's still overwhelming because it's like sensory overload. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, looking at where the culture is from, because I consider myself to be an optimist. You know what I'm saying?
nice.
You know, but like I look at where culture is right now, and because there's so much going on and there's so much happening, I think it's making people even more creative. You know what I'm saying? Which is problematic too, but I think it's in a way I think it's beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, it was some wild shit in there, bro. I knew it was crazy when I saw Lucky Charms had a booth.
Whoa, lit.
Whoa, lit.
Julian
lit.
was telling me.
I mean, they got a collaboration with Kyrie Irving though, so.
Bro, but they were selling jean jackets with like
Jean jackets.
Yeah, McDonald's had the same type
You know
of
what
way
I'm
you could
saying?
customize
You
the
know.
jacket.
General Mills.
Julian was telling me, I think Adidas had like random like lights all around Complex Con. They would like if you had the app, it would like give you a notification. They doing like a random sneaker like Quick Strike drops. You remember
okay.
Quick Strikes back in the day? They did like a bunch of Quick Strike drops all throughout the weekend, just like for random exclusives. I'm like, geez, this is crazy. That is sensory overload though.
Bro, that shit was crazy. I don't even know. It was. I wish I could have paid attention to it more so I could describe it better than
Right,
I'm
right,
about to
right.
fuck it up right now. But,
Go ahead.
but, bro, it was like, so however the app worked or whatever. Adidas had like these big ass like box.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. And it was just like, all right, what the fuck is this? So it was like a big ass box, and I want to say either the box was like moving and turning. I might be lying.
Jesus.
Or it was just like some shit that you could read on the box or whatever. I don't know if the box opened up and dropped stuff, but whenever one of those boxes were picked or highlighted, it would be like a swarm of motherfuckers.
People running to him.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
And it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I haven't watched this whole series yet, but I keep hearing how niggas like relating like social media and everything to how we in the world.
You talking about Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Bang.
It is,
Yeah,
bro.
like, it was like, bro, they was like under a box, motherfuckers like.
I'm
It
pretty
was
sure they got
crazy.
niggas like
Crazy.
facial recognition and shit. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, we moving into like a VR augmented reality type of situation. Like technology is going their way, but they
Next thing you
also.
know, we'll get our brain downloaded. You know?
Yeah, man. Like China, they got the facial recognition ID thing going on over
They
there.
got the
That's-
walk
that comes
recognition,
right
too.
from
They can-
like a Black Mirror episode of like
crazy.
being able to like have your, you know how you got your Uber rating with your likes, like so if you like piss off people at a party, or whatever, they can like rate you down a certain level. You become like an outcast in society. It's very similar to that
wild.
over in China. I'm like, geez, that's like. Yeah, some shit like they voting.
They're
rights, but,
doing
like,
that
that's
with the
crazy.
with their credit scores, like social media. They use social media for
Jeez,
their credit
but like
score.
that's insane. That's
So like if you share
insane.
some wild shit.
You get a credit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
The Republic of China is
that's
lit,
a,
G.
yeah, that's a way to
Shit's
just
lit.
keep people in their place in China. Like China's doomed when it comes to communism. They got the best of them already.
Shout out to motherfuckers like Ai Weiwei.
Oh yeah. But he can't go back. I know that shit be
Yeah.
sad sometimes, but I mean, you know, that's his.
Who is
life's
Ai
work.
Weiwei?
He's one of my favorite artists.
He's like one of the biggest. He's also one of the biggest artists in the world. He like Time magazine front page, big.
Probably seen his
documentaries.
face, but how do
Probably have. He
Yeah,
like
he's just a revolutionary dude. You wanna?
no. He like on the level of like Takashi.
Okay.
But more political though.
Yeah,
more like,
yeah.
Oh, the guy from China, right?
yeah,
Okay, I know
yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah. Say that
Hmm?
again.
Oh, Takashi Murakami.
Murakami, I'm
Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god. Get outta
Nah, that's real.
Yeah, still got the mural across the street from Jake crib of a Takashi. If anybody want to come across 18th and Halstead at some point, make
And
sure
say
that you
free.
paint over there.
free
Take a
69,
photo
man.
if you want to.
Yeah, put bars over or something. But yeah, Ai Weiwei.
If I can answer that question again too about maybe one of the most favorite things I created, it was something I was inspired by him. He did like this photo series where he went to these institutions of what he called authority
Mm-hmm.
that he felt like fucked their countries over. He would like go to that spot and like
Yeah, the middle finger
So
joint with the
yeah,
police.
Yeah,
Man, ooh, you
So
gotta
that was his
reissue that.
thing,
You gotta
like,
reissue that.
As far as his brand is concerned. Like how
No,
he came
that was
up
that. He would take a bunch of like pictures of things that he wanted to give the middle finger up. So the whole perspective is you just seeing him
Gotcha,
flipping
gotcha,
off a bunch of
okay.
shit.
Shit
Like
was hard.
the way that people go downtown on Wabash and like flick off Trump Tower.
Yeah.
Basically
Bam.
a series of those. But he's like fine art.
I seen a
like,
white guy do that recently too. It was very weird. Like I was leaving the Apple store and he was an old dude and he was taking a selfie and I was
Oh,
like,
lit.
I didn't
The
know he was
old
doing
guy.
that first and I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, oh,
That's pretty badass. An old dude doing
Right?
that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he snapped.
No, that's
Oh,
ill. That's
man.
ill.
So what did you do though with your series though? Like, did you make a middle finger type?
So what I did was at this point in my life, I was getting hella parking tickets.
Mm.
my mom was owing me because my dad had bought me a car because I got a full ride to college. My pops like bought me a car and shit, bought me like a Volkswagen Passat, you know. But it wasn't in my name; it was in my mom's name.
Oh.
So every time I got a parking ticket, it would fuck my mom's shit up, and I'm just like, shit. How can I express all of this? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I know that feeling, bro, because my truck was in my dad's name, but it was my car. So every time he would get a ticket, we got the same name. I'm just a junior.
Okay.
So if I show you our text thread for the longest, we wouldn't even have a conversation. It'd just be a ticket in the mail. It'd be like, I'm like, oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Gee. And he owns a cab.
Right.
So when you own a cab, you can only get 3 tickets in a year.
Oh,
Speeding
didn't know
ticket.
that, didn't
So
know
they have to
that.
wait like you fucking with my money, bro.
Right. Damn.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna drive the car. I'm just gonna figure some new shit out. I'm gonna drive slow, my nigga.
Yeah. But yeah, I had put my middle finger up next to like a random ass
Cop car,
CPD
right?
car. Yeah.
That
Chicago
shit
police
was
car.
legit. You gotta that I know you got a couple things you wouldn't mind reissue.
Yeah, I definitely like. But now, like now that I'm like building or like still making shit,
Mhm.
I would want to like do that on a different scale.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like a
real,
super
real.
big photo or like some jackets or. I'm just I want to do shit a lot better now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And like give it the significance I feel like it deserves. You know what I'm saying? You know?
That's a good point. And I know whenever I like chop it up with you and all that, it's always like bigger and things like that. Like, what's something that maybe even if it's not within the realm of capability right now for money, resources, whatever, what's something that you always wanted to do that like one day I'm gonna do this shit?
Oh man. something that's non-fashion, I would say, but I probably would attach some fashion to it.
Okay.
Is I want to throw like before I die. I always tell myself this, like before I die, or if I do it, and I don't die. I know I'm gonna be like rolling over in my grave and shit.
Got you.
Want to throw like festivals. You know what I'm saying?
Lit.
But like
Lit.
it's a lot of different festivals in the city, and I've been to a lot of different ones. You know what I'm saying? But like, we don't have a Camp Flog Gnaw type shit. I know Lollapalooza and all that. Like, I feel like I always wanted to throw festivals or some like a series of concerts, whatever it is, that's really for like the culture of the city.
Yeah.
I think the last festival I knew that was like that probably was like Common, Most Def, and it was like off of 71st in California, and I was like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When was that? Must have been a while ago.
I was like living in my, it was like 08, and I was like living in my mom's house, and I was just like,
okay.
I'm like, what the
It's like
fuck?
some Marquette Park shit.
Yeah, and I was just like, I want to go, but like it's at Marquette Park. Shit's wild, but yeah, man. I wish we did have more festivals though in the city. Like we had like this thing called like we had like a barbecue or whatever. And we got like a food event, but I wish that like Chicago and it's so segregated, and I feel like we still got that attitude of like, I don't know if we can do it, or we gotta go up north, or the white people do it better. But I feel like, hey, if we have like enough creators and we realize like how much talent we actually do have, that we could do something crazy. Cause man, like from what y'all doing over at Fat Tiger, to even what Corey did at Leaders, to the restaurants now, to all the other restaurants coming, to even like what you doing in the city from DJing and working on other events and all the other creatives y'all inspiring. Shit, it seems like the city gonna be in a bigger and brighter space in the next year or two. Like,
yeah, I think so, man. It's doing nothing but growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that music, which is just always such a great connector for people to bring folks together. I think that music wave is like, it's been established and some good buzz, but I feel like especially after this year, it's like that Chicago's gonna be around.
you got so
for
many
a minute.
artists,
Like,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Chance hasn't dropped in a while, but obviously it's a household name at this point. The projects this year, I always say, like, it's a good 5, 6 of them, top 10 that you could argue with some of the best projects. Like, Mixed Joint is solid, Smino's Joint,
Saba.
Perp shit, Saba shit,
Yeah,
No
Perp.
Name
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
Kami shit, Queen Key, Raven Lene. I
John
forgot all
Doe.
about that John Doe.
Yeah,
Like, it's actually, like, a lot of heat here. Like, it's enough artists that it competes with any other. The Omar shit was decent as hell. So like the list can actually go on and on. Kari ass gonna drop. I think Kari did drop some shit this year. His shit was decent too. It's just way more than enough. Like on the mainstream tip, that middle level, and on that up and coming tip. And the way that the internet works for fashion, it definitely does for music. Like some of these kids are already performing in Europe.
That's like, yeah, Saba just got to Australia, I think, right?
You over there right now?
So it's just like my thing is, I want to do things that I feel like can benefit the entirety of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have like festivals, you know what I'm saying? Like all people in all industry can come to the festival. You got the food, where you're a vendor, you know what I'm saying? And you give motherfuckers jobs too. You know what I'm saying? Like
almost on some Afro punk shit, but with a Chicago twist.
that's all. You
Bang,
know what I'm saying?
bang,
Like,
that's real.
I want to be able to like create things for the city like that, And I also have like I also have like random wacky ideas too. Like random wacky.
You might as well throw a couple
random
out there.
wacky like humanitarian ideas.
Oh, that's
Like,
dope. That's
You
dope.
know what I'm saying? Like, I sometimes when I drive on the south side, I be seeing like older women, you know what I'm saying? Walking, it be cold as
with their
hell, you know what I'm
phone,
saying? It should be, you know what I'm saying, like some type of cool like car system, like van system, you know what I'm saying? That like
For them
that,
to like
you're just
carpool.
driving, you know what I'm saying, to pick up people that need
Right,
rides. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
the city
right.
pay for that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You
that'd
feel me?
be ill. That'd
City
be
pay for
ill.
like in New York with the Jamaican trucks, like the Jamaican vans.
Yeah,
like
but
the
that's
dollar-
like an underground
like the dollar
situation.
vans.
Yeah, it's damn near like
They got shit
Uber
like that in
before
Miami
Uber,
too,
but
yeah.
like it's like
That's
niggas
fire.
in the
That's fire,
neighborhood
though.
that you just call up and they'll give you a ride, $5 ride.
Yeah, you ain't never
whatever
been
the
to one
case
of
may
those.
be.
Like it's like when I was in New York, it was like a minivan. Like it was like black people and like Haitian people. It was like a minivan for $1. You all hop in. He just drop you off at popular destinations.
Yeah.
When I was in Cuba, they didn't have like Uber, but they have shit where like you just find a car and like if it has a certain light in the front, you just wave it, you tell him where you're going, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm going that way.
Exactly.
Oh.
And I was
amazing.
thinking,
That's amazing, bro.
Saying
Okay,
that-
that's safe. If it just
yeah, but saying that just actually hit me with a light bulb because, like, if you're talking about Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, things like that, like there are those like larger vehicles or small
They
buses,
are.
or over in the Caribbean, like folks do that. So when you were saying like Caribbean, Jamaican, all that, like that's definitely a whole wave, and that's something that's already kind of embedded in the culture. And because we typically don't have the funds and resources to create a Uber or whatever that operated and still does to this day, it's just kind of like an underground economy and a means to an end for a lot of people. That just already fits right into what we already do as a people over in the mainland. Like I love that. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. You say humanitarian, didn't you? Or you're in the process of doing something really cool for kids too, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to talk about it? I feel like you.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
mind because I feel
Okay.
like this is like for the community, so
Dope.
and it's still like a super grassroots effort. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working with an organization to redesign or design a clothing collection for my alma mater, my grammar school, Betty Shabazz.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
that shit's sick.
yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Which I think it's just like I always want to figure out how to give back. You know what I'm saying? Like I always can't give back how I want to give back. Like I love to build up a whole new school type shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have that right now, so it's like I'm trying to figure out ways to still
fulfill your goals.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because it's something you can still take pride in as well and rep
Yeah.
your school and say, oh, shit, I go to Betty Shabazz.
You
see,
feel
we
me?
got this Dance Money shit on right now,
you know what I'm
boy.
saying? And even beyond that, it's just like showing them that there's meaning in things that you put into. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like clothes for all of us, it functions as a language.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm all about just opening up the kids' minds. You know what I'm saying? So like, if they can understand that fashion, can function as a language and can be used as a tool to express yourself. Because that's what the shorties have to understand. You have to figure out how to express yourself, how to find your gifts, like what's your niche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it may not be fashion. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It may not be rapping. You know what I'm saying? It might be whatever. But like,
I fuck with an accountant that wants to just give good.
What did you go to school for originally?
shit, bro. I went to school for biology and psychology.
So how long did it take for you to tell your parents that you want to be a creator?
I made the decision to stop going to school. So I finished college, but then I did a year at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Yeah, I did a year there. But at that time, I was like interning with Relo and Joe. We was on parties. You know what I'm saying? And looking back, I should have finished it because it was a 2-year program. But it was just like my heart wasn't in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in the classroom like, yo, this shit different. Like I didn't feel like myself. You know what I'm saying? And you know, early years of being a creative, it was all about like doing what feels right, being passionate. You know what I'm saying? Taking risks. I'm like, shit. Went to the crib to my pops and my moms, and my pops went crazy.
Yeah, I already know.
That nigga was like, yo, I'm going back to Africa. Yo,
Whoa.
you tripping, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just saying, like, everything he did here was for nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And we cool now, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, and I get where he was coming from, you know what I mean? But it took a while. It took a while to muster up that courage to my parents, you know, but had to do it, man. Had to be done.
I already know because I have a lot of African friends and I ask them the same question. They tell me like, man, it took me a minute. Shit, I just made 28. It took me till I was 27. Tell that nigga like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and you respect it or whatever. And he was just like, if you gonna do it, you know, just go full fledged and you know, just go hard and
That's all.
just take the same approach he took to you know, coming over here and making what he had to make.
Exactly. Because they just want us to be good. They just want us to be, you know, sustained.
And I feel
you
like
know what I'm
most
saying?
kids want to make their parents proud.
That's
too.
all.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, you know.
That middle ground that's the difference between two generations, though. Honestly, like this is
That's
the
real.
voice and like the calling of so many young people to find a better work-life balance and find actual fulfillment in whatever work you do, and so on and so
And
forth.
speaking of balance, like I'm curious, like how you balance being a full-time dad and being creative as well.
Man, bro, it's shit. I'm still learning.
Man, I can only imagine that.
Still
bro.
learning, man. You know, my daughter is gonna be one next what shit, almost like in 10 days.
Ooh, time
Whoa,
went
congratulations.
by.
Thank you,
Wow,
man. December
crazy.
7th. Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy. It's so crazy, man. You
Little
know,
baby Moon, happy
Yeah.
birthday.
I was just with her earlier today. She was at the shop with me.
okay.
But it's, it's been interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because me and my girl have different schedules. You know what I mean? So she's also an artist too. You know what I mean? So I try to be respectful of, her time to be alone and like to lock in and do what she got to do. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's tough being a mom. You know what I'm saying? And, with the type of field that I'm in, I need my isolation time too. You know what I'm saying? Where I gotta like lock in and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also still a dad. I'm still a parent. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta figure out, how to allocate my time to where I'm still self-caring. You know what I'm saying? And trying to come up with new ideas and shit like that. But I'm also like, seeing the new discoveries in Indigo. Like she got a new scratch or she doing some new shit with her hands. You know what I'm saying? And giving my girlfriend time to do her thing as well. So it's tough though, you know what I'm saying? Cause like I'm usually like I'm the type of creative that works better through the night. You know what I'm saying? Cause during the day it's tough, man. It's just so much going on. It's you know what I mean? I'm trying to get better at that, but like, I flourish better in the night. I flow better in the night. My work.
Everything else is like
Yeah,
like
you
it's
know what I'm
white
saying?
noise around.
Yeah, you feel me?
No, that's
You know,
real. I know.
But putting my daughter to sleep now, you know what I'm saying? It's like as soon as she go to sleep, I be like on 3%. You know what I'm saying? So I be like, so it's been like trying to figure out like, damn, do I gotta drink a Red Bull before I put her to sleep? You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Do I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So like just trying to figure out make it work.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
So it's safe to say you're not going to Art Basel.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I can't
'Cause the
I can't miss
birthday.
You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody got a crazy bag for me out there. You
I
feel me?
feel that.
Then we can have. I told Imani, the only way I'm gonna go to Art Basel is if somebody give me a
nice
crazy
check.
bag. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "What about the birthday?" I'm like, "Shit, they give me a crazy bag. We can have another birthday." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
You feel me?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Facts. Facts. I feel that.
True. Shoot, it's on. Chicago's looking pretty crazy going to the future. 2019 is gonna be a very strong year for a lot of folks, like us all on the show, the radio station, a lot of our homies as well. Like shit, niggas that
2020
we don't
All-Star
know.
game.
It's some
2020
rising
All-Star Game,
exactly.
Complex Con,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
City about to be so lit right now.
Yeah,
bro.
it's a lot going on. It's a lot that Chicago has to offer as well.
And the Bears are winning this year.
That's crazy.
Right? I know. Okay, my bad. I know he probably don't feel
I'm,
this like how he feel it.
I'm a
sorry. Okay.
Packers guy personally,
Okay.
you know, but it's all love. What's
Word,
happening with you,
word,
G?
But you're a Rams
bro.
guy.
I'm about to
I
ask you,
am.
what you gotta you gotta be
But
a
like
Rams
NFC
guy?
North, my team is the Packers, and you know I
Okay.
get a lot of fulfillment
Wow.
out of that because I'm in Chicago. So I gotta go left the niggas who all going right. Yada yada. I mean,
okay.
I got you. I'm a troll.
I got no
you know,
love
at the
for
end
the
of the day.
Bears.
Yeah, so you a cheesehead.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Wow.
also, I'm not gonna act like Chicago niggas don't be talking big shit about St. Louis. It took a lot of years for me to just get my own name and respect. Nobody really talks shit about St. Louis.
I mean, you
See,
came
but
up.
That's what you Chicago.
but I
niggas
mean, you
talk.
came
And
up
then
here.
That one, you live
You
here,
came
don't you? Blah blah blah. Like no,
You came
bro.
up here. You laid.
Nah,
you
bro.
laid your G down
Yeah,
for
I
your
did.
city,
I did.
though.
I had to.
And for
I
the
had to.
longest, it
Big
was
St.
easy.
Louis.
Like
I fuck with the Lou.
I
Big
do
St.
too. I love roasted. I
I'm
love.
go out there and do a pop up. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like y'all still treat us and talk to us though. Like y'all just really our bullying big cousin for real.
I fuck with toasted raviolis, man.
Emo's.
I want to St. Paul. Is that
St. Paul. Yeah, bro. Yeah. But shit, man, no, Des, we're gonna have to have you back up in here, dog. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast.
Hey, promo your ass next on the show, man.
Yeah,
And
you
We
gotta.
go way
We gonna
back,
throw some
G.
instrumentals on some
These
shit
niggas
and have you read some
together.
poetry,
Shit.
nigga.
Y'all gotta have him freestyle.
Oh, y'all used to live together?
Not even who?
Man, nah, me
Oh,
and
who
Promo,
together?
we-
Oh,
we
lit.
were in the same homeschool together.
Oh, y'all went to school
Oh, y'all went to
together.
Sin? You went to
Yeah,
Sin?
yeah,
Oh shit!
Okay,
Okay. That's right, cause you uptown
Very
now,
good,
ain't you?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it's a lot of gang
Little
activity
senior
there.
A lot of gang banging shit going on your way.
All right,
Oh.
y'all. Thanks for tuning in to the Guide to Grade A Living. It's been Mild Sauce Radio. Do right. Keep that shit crispy on some grade A shit. And you know what? We all we got.
Chip.
Hey,
Peace.
let's get it.